If I look at you for like a second, will you come over and turn it off for me? All I have to do is press that red button. Okay, welcome to your 2010-2011 SOL review. All right, we're going to go through all the problems here so you know how to do them and you can pass the test. Okay, number one says a bisector of AB contains which line segment? So we need to bisect this. You're not going to do this by hand, you're going to use the tools. But since I don't have the tools, I'm just going to show you what it should look like. Okay, you're going to set your compass point here. You're going to make an arc above the line here. Without changing the compass point, you're going to make an arc below the line here. Move your compass point back over here. You're not going to change anything. You're going to make an arc that's going to intersect this one, and an arc that's going to intersect this one down here. Then you're going to draw a line between them. And if you draw a straight line, and we'll go through both points, that's pretty close. So EF is your perpendicular bisector of AB.
What is the sample?
That's how you do it. That is a perpendicular bisector of line segment AB. Okay? Might be a good idea to go ahead and label the steps. This would be step number 1. Step number 2 is down here. Step 3, we'll put that one up here. And step 4 is down here. And then of course step 5 is drawing the line between them. Okay, number 2.
What's the answer?
It says lines M and R are cut by a transversal. What value of X will show that line M is parallel to line R? Okay, well, we want these to be parallel, so if that's the case, we know that these two angles are alternate interior, and we know that they have to be equal to each other, so we just do 7x minus 115 equals 3x minus 35. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. That gives us 4x minus 115 equals negative 35. We're going to add 115 to both sides. That gives us 4x equals 80. Divide both sides by 4, it gives us x equals 20. And is that what they asked us to find? What value of x? Yes, your answer is F. And that is number 2. Moving on. Number 3 says if lines A and B are parallel, what is the value of x? We're talking about these two lines right here. A and B, we want to know what the value of x is. Well, we would use 120 over here, but 120 and x don't match in any type of angle pair that we know. So we're going to have to move 120 to a different location. We know that if these are parallel, 120 could move right here. So let's just move it there. Now we know that these two angles have to add up to 180, so we're just going to do 180 minus 120 gives us 60. The answer is D. Number 4. On this one it says, which point lies on the bisector of angle PQR? So here you're going to have to draw an angle bisector. The steps for an angle bisector, first of all, you're going to put your compass point here. You're going to draw an arc that intersects both of these line segments, or these rays. Then you're going to take, that's going to be step number 1. Step number 2, you're going to put your compass point here. You're going to make an arc out here from this point. You're going to put your compass point here. It's important that you put it on the intersection of the arc and the ray. Then you're going to do another arc out here. So this will be step 2, step 3. Step 4 will be drawing a line segment between this point and the vertex. And if you use the tools on the computer, your line segment will be a lot straighter than that. But The answer is H. And that's number 4. Number 5, it says, for what measure of angle D is AB parallel to DC in this figure? So AB and CD are the ones that we want to be parallel, so we're just going to make a little mark on there. We want those to be parallel. We might need that later. And now, we're trying to find the measure of angle D down here. Okay. So first of all, if these are parallel, that gives us a shape that we know about right here. That makes the Z. That means that these angles are going to be congruent to each other. So if we find this one, we'll know what that one is. So to find that one, we're going to add 26 plus 85, and that gives us 111. We're going to do 180 minus 111. That gives us 69. Answer is C. Okay. Number 6. Okay, this is another compass or ruler problem. You can use either one. It says, which line segment is congruent to BC? Well, BC is right here. So what you would do is you would take your compass or ruler, measure it, and find out which one matches. So let me just use this ruler. I'm going from 1 foot to make that. Let's make that 6.5 inches. So we go this way. Same thing. That'll be R. So your answer for that one is going to be PR. Remember, when you take your SOL, you can't put anything up to the screen. So you're going to have to know how to use those tools. The answer is G, number 6. Number 7, it says, in the figure shown, line Q is the transversal of the parallel lines L, M, N, and P. That means they're all parallel. What are the values of X and Y? Let's put this line over here first. All right, so on this one, you're just going to have to ignore the lines that you don't need. If you know all these are parallel, again, you know that these two make your alternate interior angles, so we know X is equal to 30. All right, so that means we can get rid of this option and this option, so we've got a choice there. Y is either going to be 30 or 150. Again, we've got, let's go ahead and pencil 30 in right here. So we've got 30 right there. Y is down here. If we highlight this one, and if you only have one color, you can do this to show the difference there. We've got those two, and we know that that shape right there is going to equal 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 30. That gives us 150. We want 30, 150. Your answer is B. Okay. Number 8. Okay, same type of problem here. This is probably easier than most. Except the lines J and K are parallel. They give us 32. They ask us for measure of angle 1. If these are parallel, we know we've got RZ here. Alternate interior angles, therefore your answer is F. 32, not hard. Make 2 more. On this one, it says lines Y and Z are cut by a transversal. What is the value of X if Y is parallel to Z? Well, these are both exterior angles because they're outside the parallel lines. They're on opposite sides of the transversal. That means they're alternate exterior angles. And we know alternate exterior angles are congruent. So if this is 77, so is X. The answer is B. And number 10. On this one it says measure of angle 1 is equal to 15x minus 5, and angle 2 is equal to 10x plus 35. What is the measure of angle 1? Okay. so first of all, we know that those are congruent because they're vertical angles. So we're gonna do 15x minus 5 equals 10x plus 35. We subtract 10x from both sides. That leaves us with 5x minus 5 equals 35. Add 5 to both sides. That gives us 5x equals 40. Divide 40 by 5. That gives us x equals 8. 8's not over here because they asked us for the measure of angle 1, so that's up here. So we're going to do 15 times 8 minus 5. 15 times 8 is 90 minus 5 is 85. So 85 is your answer, and H would be